First of all, I want to thank you guys because we're sitting at 699 subscribers right now. I bet by the time this video goes online, we'll be over 700, which blows my mind because last year in April I was at like 70 subscribers, so we're like 10 times more, which is amazing. It's not a small number for me by any means. And if you really like these Boston videos, please subscribe to my channel, please like, please share these videos, and that would be amazing. Come join the family. Okay, so let's get on with this video. Welcome back to another video. So I wasn't really planning on making this video, but some of the comments on the truth about living in Boston this video have compelled me to make this video. So I want to tell you guys in this video about why I decided to move to Boston. The reason I want to make this video is like a lot of comments on the truth about living in Boston videos are like, well, if you hate Boston so much, why are you in Boston? Or there are no cons of living in New England, you're dumb, like you should leave if you don't like it here. So I just want to put something in context for those people. Majority of the responses and comments on that video are obviously really positive, and I appreciate that. Even the negative ones, I don't mind. Whenever I put something on there, I know it's for public viewing. People are gonna perceive it one way or another and then, you know, comment, which I like. Honestly, positive or negative comments I really like, but I feel like at times it becomes really taxing to comment on every single comment. So I was like, what if I make this video to give you guys sort of like a prologue of why I decided to move to Boston. I feel like in a lot of my other moving and living in Boston videos, I just present facts to you without any context of my life. So here we go. So it's 2021 right now. I decided to move to Boston in 2018. I had just finished my PhD and I was in Midwest. I was in the Midwest. I was in Iowa City, Iowa, University of Iowa. That's where I did my PhD. And then I decided to move to Boston. My sole reason for moving to Boston was Harvard University. Like I said, I had just finished my PhD at the University of Iowa, and I really wanted to take my career to the next level. What I mean by that is, as a scientist, there is no place I would rather be if I am in the US than at Harvard or MIT doing research, and that is what I wanted to do. So when I was in Iowa in 2017, planning on where I want to move for the next chapter of my life, the only thing that really mattered to me was doing the best research I can. And for that, I wanted to move to Harvard to do research, and for that, I wanted to move to Boston. Now, this is important for you to know, to put in context, because when people are like, well, why did you move to Boston? I moved to Boston because of Harvard University. If Harvard was in Michigan, I would have moved to Michigan. If Harvard was in Hawaii, I would have moved there. So for me, Boston itself is not really a city that I would want to move into. Actually, I feel like a lot of people who have moved here for school or for work either are one way or another, it's like some sort of degrees of separation from Harvard or MIT, at least if you're in sciences. I'm not even kidding. So for a scientist, that was the reason for me to move to Boston. So I didn't want to move to Boston because it's the best city in the world. I didn't want to move to Boston because I was dying to be in New England. I didn't want to move to Boston because I was dying to be on the East Coast. I wanted to move to Boston because I wanted to work at Harvard University. So I hope that puts at least that part in context for you guys. Now, had it not been for Harvard, would I have been in Boston? Like I said, I would have not moved here. I feel like there are also other really good schools that I was considering doing research at, like Caltech, Salk Institute, at La Jolla. Like there are so many other places that are just as amazing as Harvard. But I think for me to take my career into the next level, this was the best step for me. So my reason for making a lot of these Boston videos was for people around my age. Because when I was moving to Boston, I was moving from the Midwest, from Iowa City, to one of the most expensive cities in the US, like the 4th most expensive cities. Believe it or not, when I moved, I dipped into my savings so much that my savings became non-existent. And even during the process of moving, I couldn't get a lot of information about how expensive the rent was, what should I do if I bring my car here? How should I get it registered? I didn't know anything about resident permits in certain neighborhoods. I was barely knowing anything about street cleaning. So all of this information that is very Boston specific, or at least for me, because I've only lived in only just one other place in the US, all of this information was very new to me, and there wasn't a way for me to access all this information. So when I moved to Boston, I barely had any savings because, you know, I paid basically a lot of money to the realtors. My car got towed because of street cleaning. I went through a lot of pain at the RMV basically to get Massachusetts registration, to get a resident permit, and then to even transfer my driver's license. So when I was making the Boston videos, I wanted some of this information at least to be available to people who are planning to move to Boston, because I wish I had something like that when I was moving here. I wish I would have found a video like this, would have given me some information about, you know, what living in Boston is like and how expensive it is. So I also want to put into context the truth about living in Boston video, because I've gotten a lot of comments on that video saying that there are no cons about living in Boston, that you should move out if you don't like Boston, blah blah blah. So to that I say that pros and cons are subjective. I've commented that on a lot of comments that I get on that video too. If you think there are no cons about living in Boston, that's your view, honey. That's like, what do you think? What I think is already in that video. The reason that I am uploading this video on a platform called YouTube is because it's my tube. You know what I mean? Like, I upload videos that I want to upload and that they reflect my point of view. So sweetie, if you want to reflect your POV, why don't you make a video? And comments are another way to get your POV across, but then don't nullify my point of view in your comments. Don't say there are no cons of living in Boston, because the cons that I'm putting in my video are according to me. So you know, shit like that can get really convoluted at the end. So I just wanted to give some context. This is gonna be obviously a short video, and at the end of the day, to end this video, I just want to say what really makes me happy is all the positive comments that I get. I really literally get Instagram messages now. I get comments on the YouTube videos saying thanks for making this video. That's what's important to me. If I help even a single person by making all of those Boston videos, like, I am so happy. So comment down below also what sort of videos you want to see with relation to Boston. Like, do you have questions about having cars in Boston? Do you have questions about being an international student in Boston? Do you have questions about moving to Boston from another state? Do you have questions about moving to Boston from another state outside the US? Just comment and that video will appear pretty soon. With that being said, like I said earlier, please subscribe to the channel, please comment, please like, please share. And if you haven't seen the truth about living in Boston video that I keep talking about, go watch it. Okay, love you guys. I hope you have a good day. Bye.